सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्मा तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। सच्चिदानन्दरूपाय विश्वोत्पत्त्यादिहेतवे तापत्रयविनाशाय श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नुमः। निगमकल्पतरोर्गलितं फलम् शुकमुखादमृतद्रवसंयुतम् शुकमुखाद् अमृतद्रवसंयुतम् शुकमुखादमृतद्रवसंयुतम् पिबत भागवतं रसमालयम् मुहुरहो रसिका भुवि भावुकाः। जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादि तरतश्चार्तेषु अभिज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदाय आदिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः तेजो वारिमृदाम् यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकम् सत्यं परं धीमहि धर्मः प्रोज्झितः कैतवोऽत्र परमो निर्मत्सराणां सताम् वेद्यं वास्तवमत्र वस्तु शिवदम् तापत्रयोन्मूलनम् श्रीमद्भागवते महामुनिकृते किं वा परैरीश्वरः सद्यो हृद्यवरुध्य तेऽत्र कृतिभिः शुश्रूषुभिस्तक्षणात् If you can memorize these 4 shlokas in the Chatushloki Bhagavat and you display these 4 shlokas to anybody, they'll think you know Bhagavat. Tips to know Bhagavatam. We are in the 6th chapter, doing the rest of the story of Naradji. Now Vyasaji, who was very attentively listening to Naradji's story, Naradji's own life, it was his autobiography stated. And his autobiography was like, nothing much stated, but only one point said that I had a lot of devotion for the Lord, and that is why I am what I am. And I said, excuse me, I was expecting much more details. That's what he asks. Vyasa uvacha bhikshubhir vipravasite vijnanade drupshtubhihi stava vartamano vasya sadhye tatah kim karaoda bhavan. Yeah, when they all, those vipraha, those sadhu, when they left, what did you do? Swayam bhuva kaya vritya vartitam te param vayaha katham ched udasrakshihi kale papte kalevaram. How did you give up the earlier life to become this Narada? That is very intriguing for me to know, because to be yourself as you are, how was that transformation from that level of what you are talking to this? This is something wonderful. So please tell me in detail about your life. So Naradji says, Bhikshubhihi vipravasite. After the Bhikshubhihi, those ascetics, those who had been staying in their master's house, as they left, they had given him all the techniques of meditation, all the key points to focus on, and he was completely involved in that meditation. But according to my mom, I was getting too involved in these things. This has not been something new to Kali Yuga. Even before Kali Yuga, it has been the same thing. Little too interested in spirituality, the parents get scared. Ekatmaja me janani yoshin mudha chakinkari. Now what to do? She was totally uneducated, but a very pious lady. But she was totally uneducated. She did not know, because all that she knew, all that she had was only me. Ekatmaje. She had only me as one son. And she would snehanubandhanam. She would always pamper me, always, her whole world was revolving around me. Now for me, who was interested in this, would have loved to quit and go into my higher meditations, but seeing her, I just stayed back. And then he says, Ekada nirgatam gehat duhantim nishigam pathi. In the evening, she had gone for milking the cows in the master's place. And she had milked the cows and she was coming back. As she was coming, sarpaha adashat pada sprushta krupanam kalachoditaha. No, she was not a Vedantin to mistake a snake to be a rope. She did not see it at all, and she stepped on it, and the snake bit my mother. And before anybody could reach with a 911 emergency ER, she had already left the body, Kalevaram. Then I turned towards my altar to the Lord Supreme. Tada tadaham ishasya bhaktanam shamabhipsataha. He is the one who is the bestower of all the devotees. So I looked at him and said, Anugraham Manyamanaha. Now she was getting so caught up with me, and I was the one who was so eager to get out from there. And Lord, you knew what to do the best. I did not shed a tear that I lost my mother. I just prayed for her Uttamagati, and thanked the Lord for giving me the opportunity to meditate on him. Look at the kind of dispassion that that kid had in that earlier life. Naradji is wrongly portrayed as, again I say, as Kalaha Priya. But he had this kind of a dispassion even in his earlier life. That he took care of his mother as long as she was there, and the moment that responsibility was done with, what did he do? He considered it as his anugraha from the Lord, and then immediately after having done his immediate responsibilities with the mother's body, he finished them off and then started going upward, northward. Then he said, Ketaka Vartavatischa Vanyan Upavananicha. He crossed many kinds of places. Some were very beautiful, some were gorgeous, some were full of lakes, some were very dry lands. And he crossed all of these small villages, big villages, cities, so that he could reach to the Himalayas. Chitrasvanehi patrarathaihi vibhramad bhramara shriyaha. And I was roaming and roaming and roaming to reach there, to a place wherein I could all be alone for myself. Nothing else could disturb me. I was searching for such a place which could be found in the Himalayas. Yayevati yato ahamadraksham vipinam mahat. I found the right spot. Probably it had many kinds of wild animals, wolves, owls, snakes, but I did not care for them. He says, there I went into the nearest lake. Snatva pitva hride nadyaha upasrushto gatashramah. It was so refreshing in that river that I took a bath, refreshed myself, and then found a beautiful place under a peepal tree. Peepalopasthaha asthitaha vayam. When he sat down under a peepal tree. And then atmana atmanam atmastham. By the self, in the self, for the self. That is called absolute democracy. By the self, wherein he withdrew all his organs of perception and action into the self without being disturbed by anything from the outer, focusing on that self so that he could reach to that self. And thus having withdrawn, dhyayataha charanam bhojam, I started meditating on the lotus feet of the Lord. Very intensely I started focusing on the Lord. I don't know how much time I had spent sitting there, but suddenly I was overtaken by these sweet emotions. Autkantya ashrukalakshasya hridyasmin me shanai harehe. I was so filled that the japa also was becoming hard for me to say. There's some kind of a strange feeling wherein I couldn't utter a single word. My eyes were flowing with water, flowing with this continuously with, I was crying. And for the first time in my life, I was crying without a reason. The tears were just flowing out of my eyes, just in the thought, in the remembrance of the Lord's holy feet. That my eyes were continuously flowing. Premati bharaha. It was so filled with longing for the Lord. At that time, as I was lost in that emotion, suddenly I had this beautiful form of the Lord as a glimpse for few seconds, few moments that it lasted. As I was trying to see the whole Lord, like, from his feet to his head, the moment I completed it, I just was yearning to see more, the Lord vanished. And now I knew not what kind of pangs of suffering that I had gone through then, because I was not satiated with these simple glimpse of the Lord. I was feeling so lost. What wrong did I do that I did not have my complete heart's content of Lord's vision? Thus, doing some, contemplating on this concept that why did Lord just show me a small glimpse and then vanish? As he was thinking, Lord was, they say that Lord Krishna is very, very cunning. That is why he is called Hari. Hari also means the one who steals away. The one who, without your knowledge, grabs everything. Now Narada was like that, wherein he was in that one glimpse of the Lord. He was so much into that nothing else was mattering to him at that time. And he was lost. He was in that pangs of separation. He was feeling that pain so horrible. But the Lord finally had little compassion. He said, as an Akashavani, he said, because of the Sangha of these great masters that you had, that I have given you a small glimpse that the process that you are in is the right one. But you still have to work on a lot of things that are still disturbing your heart. Work on them, finish them. I will take you to my abode in my next yuga. In my next creation, you will be my own. He says, Narada says, that one statement, that kalpantam idam adaya, as the kalpa ends and the next kalpa you will be mine, that one statement was sufficient for me. That restored everything else, and I started focusing back on my sadhana. So he completely gave up anything that could be thought of. All that he was thinking was nothing but the Lord, because the Lord had promised him that purify your heart in this kalpa and next kalpa I will take you. And as thought of, when the kala, when that particular time had arrived for that particular prarabdha of his body, he says, Kala pradhura bhoot kale tadit saudamini yatha. Like a flash of a light, it just came and I dropped this mortal coil and I reached to the higher worlds, where along with the other Saptarishis and everybody, along with Brahmaji, I was absorbed into the Lord. Along with Brahmaji and everybody, I was absorbed into the Lord. And as he created his next world, next kalpa, as he started out, along with the Saptarishis, I was also born as his Manasa Putra, as Narada. Now listening to this beautiful story of Naradji. Now why was this story being told by Naradji? To whom was he telling? To Vyasaji, this story was being told by Narada so that he could inspire him to write Bhagavata. So Vyasaji was now inspired. Chalo, if this be the benefit of such a fulfillment you can feel, in spite of having written all that, let me also start. In the 7th chapter he says, Nirgate narade suta bhagavan badarayanaha shrutvan stadavipretam tatah kimakarod vibhu. What did he do next was the question of what did Vyasji Maharaj do after listening to Naradji? Shaunaka asks Suta. Sutaji says, Brahmanadhyam Saraswatyam Ashramah Paschime Tate. Brahmanadhyam Saraswatyam, the Saraswati Nadi, the Paschima Tata, on the Paschima side of the river, there is a small ashram of his. In that ashram he sat down, and then Tasmin Sva Ashrame Vyasaha Badari Shandamandite. That Badarik ashram, as it is called, is because it is full of these Badarika trees. I don't know what to translate that in English. If somebody asked me, how do you translate that into English? What tree is it? I would say Badrik. That is why he was known as Badarayana, the one who had his ashram and penas in that Badrika trees, surrounded by Badrika trees. He was known as Badarayana. So Asinaha api upasprushya pranidadau manasvayam. He completely focused his mind, brought his mind back to the equanimous position, and then with complete devotion to the Lord, manasik samyak, apashyat purvam purusham maya sahitam. He saw both the Lord Narayana and his Maya Shakti, the Maya Shakti which is ashrita on the Lord. He saw both of them. Yaya sammohito jivaha atmanam trigunatmakaham paropi manute nartham tatkritam chabhipadyate. Now, with that kind of a vision in his mind, he started writing this Bhagavata. He started composing this Bhagavata. This Bhagavata Shastra, after having written down, what did he do? Shukham Adhyapayamasa. He taught this to Shukadevji, who was his own son. As yesterday he was asking, this is different from Shukra. Shukracharya is the guru of Daitya, the demons. But this is Shuka. Shuka has two meanings. One, Shukacharya, the other meaning of Shuka is a parrot. You know, one of the shlokas that we read in the invocation. Shukamukad Drava Sanyutam. Shuka means the Bhagavata is like that sweet fruit which has come out from Shukacharya. And the other meaning of Shuka is also a parrot which eats the fruits and leaves the rest of the fruit, and that fruit is supposed to be the most tasty fruit on earth. Have you ever tasted it? And you missed it if you have not tasted it. We used to eagerly climb the trees to search for such, especially the guavas. Oh man, they would be so tasty. More tastier than that is this Shukacharya's, and this is how Shukacharya learnt it from his father. Now Shaunaka says, Savai nivritti nirataha sarvatropekshako munihi kasyava brihati metam atma rama samabhyasata. He says, now Shukaji, who was so totally into his contemplation and meditation, never involved in any kind of pravritti. He did not get involved in any kind of pravritti. That is why Shukadevji Maharaj is also called an avadhuta. See, there are 4 ashramas: Brahmacharya, Grihastha, Vanaprastha and Sannyasa. In these 4 ashramas, they have their own duties, obligations, and they are bound by certain rules and regulations. But Shukadevji was an avadhuta who doesn't belong to any one of these categories. A realized soul who cannot be categorized in any one of these is an avadhuta. Now, to such an avadhuta, what was his kind of motive to master such kind of a voluminous Bhagavat Shastra? Now Sutaji says, Atma Ramascha Munayaha Nirgantha Apyurukrame Kurvantya Haitukim Bhaktim. That was the reason. Ahoitukim Bhaktim. a devotion for the Lord which does not have a reason. Normally our devotion to the Lord is because of. I love Lord because He is the Savior. I love Lord because He gives me whatever I ask. I love Lord because I like His prasad. We have many reasons. I mean, I can tell you with my own experience, while I was growing up in a certain place, we had both Shivalaya and the Vishnu Alaya. We were not that much attentively dedicated to Shivalaya. Every evening after our play, we would wash our feet and be eagerly waiting for the bells to ring in the Vaishnava. Why? They will have good prasad. But in Shivalaya, if you go, all that you get is water and little bhasma. Who wants that? So there are many reasons, like I love Lord because A, B, C, D, Z. A lot of reasons there. But for him, the love for Lord was ahaitukim. There was no reason. But he was just in love with that Lord Sri Hari. And anything regarding that Sri Hari, he was eager to know, eager to learn. Harer gunakshiptam atir bhagavan badarayanihi. Now he learnt completely from Badarayana, Vedavyasji, about the great details of the Lord. Then he says, now let us change from this. So far what has been taught is of how this Bhagavat was written, or who was the inspiration for Vedavyasa to write. How did Vedavyasa give it to Shukacharya? So the teacher, how he got trained is been given, an account has been given. Now he says, now let me shift to the other side. He says, Parikshitotha. Let me talk about Parikshita. Samstha cha Panduputranam Vakshe Krishna Katodayam. Now this is the story of Parikshita, of how he was born, why he was born, how was he helped by the Lord. All these details I am going to give you. When the Mahabharata war started, on the Pandavas side there were all these great warriors. Each one was a Maharathi. They had many Maharathis, but the Pandavas themselves were Maharathis. Now who is a Maharathi? Now even in today's vocabulary, you have a commander-in-chief, then they have a fleet commander, they have a wing commander, different wings of the armed forces, you have different kinds of classifications. Similarly, in those days we had Maharathi, then there was Ardharathi, then there was Rathi, then there was Sarathi. Now Sarathi is the one who can manage only those horses yoked to his chariot. Yoked to his carrier, whatever was the horses, he was responsible for that chariot and the horses. He could weave through any kind of traffic. He was able-handed with one chariot. He is a Sarathi. Then comes Rathi. Now charioteer's job is not to protect the chariot and the horses. It is the one who is riding in that chariot. It is his duty to protect the horses. Imagine if somebody shoots at the horse. You are going in a chariot. The first thing that you can do is strike the horses. You are without a chariot now. And to one who is without a chariot, to kill him is very easy. So it becomes his bound duty to first protect the horses. The one who is managing those horses, and he has to protect the chariot and himself. He is a Rathi. Now for the rest of them, Maharathi and Ardharathi, you need to know the kind of picture, kind of quantity involved. Each Akshohini is a battalion, had around 2.5 lakhs. 2.5 lakhs now translate into thousands and millions. 250,000 human beings. 250,000 human beings. Added with that, their horses, elephants, camels, and chariots. The animals are also included. Now, who is a Maharathi? A Maharathi is a one who can handle his own chariot, his charioteer and horses, and protect himself and protect the whole of this 250,000 warriors along with their animals. He is a Maharathi. Now, in the Pandava side, in the Mahabharata war, they had lot of these kinds of warriors, great warriors who were Maharathis. Even Krishna was a Maharathi. He used to train Maharathis. That was his specialization. In Dwarka, he would not let any warrior to sit quiet. Every day in the morning, we'll come to that in the 10th canto. Every day in the morning, there will be Vyayam Shala. He would ask all his warriors to come to that Vyayam Shala, and there will be a practice session. There will be horse riding, there will be a chariot riding, there will be different kinds of tests that he had developed, so that he had made the largest number of Maharathis in his time. So all these Maharathis, and all his Sena, whose side was he? On the side of Duryodhana was his Narayani Sena fighting. So all these different kinds of warriors were participating in that Mahabharata war. And the Mahabharata war ended with Duryodhana's thigh breaking with the strong weapon of Bhimasena. Ashwathama was grieved to see Duryodhana and his brothers die one by one. Duryodhana had not yet died. His thigh had broken and he was half dead. He was in lot of pain and grief. So Ashwathama, in order to take revenge on these Pandavas, as the Pandavas had camped, he enters the campgrounds at night, which was a big no-no. You cannot enter unless you have your chariot and it displays whose chariot it is. A passport or some kind of permit. He just sneaked into the Pandavas' camp. When everybody was sleeping, his aim was to kill Pandavas. While they were sleeping, he could just cut their heads off. This was his plan. And he found 5 of them sleeping, cut their heads off and brought to Duryodhana saying, I have killed the Pandavas. But then he understood that they were not the Pandavas, but they were the Upa-Pandavas. Draupadi had begotten 5 children, one each to one of the Pandavas. All 5 were killed. Now Arjuna gets very angry. Draupadi is crying. Yudhishthira is speechless. Bhima is, at this time, nobody comes in front of Bhima. Because his rage was so powerful that he could just crush anything that was in his way. Arjuna makes a very grand promise to crying Draupadi. He says, with my Gandiva, that Ashwathama who has killed your 5 children, I am going to kill him, behead him, and bring his head to you. This is my promise. Now Draupadi doesn't say anything at that time because she is already so much in grief of losing 5 children at the same time. Probably she would not have minded if these 5 children were killed in the battlefield. But unceremoniously, unrighteously, when they were killed while they were sleeping. That is what was hurting her most. that I had given birth to Kshatriyas who were able, they were Maharathis, but to be killed in such a fashion, she could not bear that pain. So Arjuna sets off. There is one thing with this Arjuna. As any of us, Arjunam Nararupinam, he has rightly represented human beings, that too of Kali Yuga. See, when we go on a rage, when we jump out to do something, we don't think about the repercussions of the situation. One. We are so confident, full of ourselves, that we don't even think about the Lord. See, in our to-do list, where is the Lord? Or worshipping the Lord, where is it? Okay, let me put it this way. When you are extremely pressed for time, what is the first thing that gets chopped out of your to-do list? It is the Lord. Now Arjuna, though so close to the Lord, runs for Ashwathama, and Ashwathama, he had the best of the horses, best of the chariot, ran, and Arjuna wouldn't leave him. He was just there behind him. But he could not catch him yet. The chase went on, and finally, out of desperation, Ashwathama takes out a straw, chants the Brahmastra mantra, and then shoots it at Arjuna. Now Arjuna, as soon as he sees Brahmastra, he says, Krishna Krishna Mahabhaga Bhaktanam Abhayankara. The first thing that is what we also do, right? As long as everything is going smooth, it's me. Konyosti sadrushomaya, who can beat me? Anything goes, perfectly all right. It is me. I was in somebody's house and this mother was complaining about her son. And this fellow's prarabdha is like this. We got him to the medical school and he is not doing well. His fate is like that. I said, Amma, can I stop you for a while? If your son was successful, you know what you would have been saying? इतने मुश्किल से, मेहनत से पाल पोस के बड़ा किया है. That poor fellow has been putting effort, slogging his day and night, and the credit goes, it is me who has really brought up my child. And when everything goes wrong, his fate is not all right. Then we have to find a reason to blame it on. I love that statement from wherever I read it. In the midst of intense situation, if a person is smiling, he knows whom to blame it on. But Arjuna was slightly better than us. He did not say, oh Lord, it is all your mistake. That is what we cry, right? If something goes wrong, why me? Why always me? If it has been always you, couldn't you just stop and think why it is you only? Arjuna is little improved than us. He has to be our leader. What is the improvement? Instead of crying, why me? He says, oh Lord, I know I have started out without thinking of you, but now I see this Brahmastra coming. Krishna Krishna Mahabhaga Bhakta Nama Bhayankara Tvameko. You are the only one who can protect me. And then he praises. You are one without the second. You are the most powerful. You are the all-knowing. You are the one who has lot of compassion even for devotees like me. Krishna also smiles for himself. And he says, Vethedam dronaputrasya brahmastram pradarshitam naivasau veda samharam pranabhada upasthite. Learn this to be the Brahmastra released by Drona's son Ashwathama. And learn also this fact that he knows only how to use it but does not know how to withdraw it. Because most of us are either like Abhimanyu or like Ashwathama. We know how to get into the midst of things, but we don't know how to get out of it. That is Abhimanyu. Ashwathama, out of that emotional turmoil, we just spit out, but we don't know how to get it back into control. Ashwathama's Brahmastra, he doesn't know how to upasamhara, he doesn't know how to take it back. And since your prana is in trouble right now, you also release a counter-attacking Brahmastra, because Brahmastra can be subdued only with Brahmastra. There is no other astra that can be used. So after hearing Lord, what does Arjuna do? Shrutva bhagavata proktam phalguna paraviraha. So he also sipped the water, took his arrow, chanted the Brahmastra mantra, and then let his Brahmastra also. Now the two Brahmastras, two nuclear missiles, warheads, they were so bright as though engulfing the three worlds. People were so much in pain because of these two arrows. Then as the Lord hints Arjuna, he withdraws both the arrows, both Brahmastras, which were let out by each, Ashwathama and himself, he withdraws both. And then runs up to Ashwathama, ties him down, and brings him. While bringing, there is a little test that the Lord puts. Lord says, instead of taking him to the camp, Shibiram, Shibiraya ninishantam damna badhvari pumbalat, instead of binding him, you had promised, right? See, Arjuna knew when to teach somebody a lesson. Long ago, when they were in Vanvasa, he had taken a vow that anybody who disrespects the Gandiva, he will kill that person. And it so happened that Gandiva was disrespected by his own elder brother, Yudhishthira. And now he was all ready. I have taken a vow, I have to kill him. No, Krishna is like, you cannot, like, baseball, you cannot presuppose a shot and wait for the ball to come to your bat, right? You have to see the ball swinging and then move your, what do you call it? Do you call it a bat here? Okay, the baseball bat, fine. I find it funny when people say, it is a bat even if it is flat. Then they talk of cricket here. So it should be a bat. So you cannot presuppose. He had already fixed his mind whether that situation was worth it so that he could execute his vow. He did not know. And then now Lord is rubbing it in. तब तो चुप नहीं बैठा था. And then you did not listen to me, or you were acting so weird. Why don't you kill him now? Because you had already promised to Draupadi, right? Kill him. There was something that was stopping Arjuna, and Lord could see it very clearly that there was something stopping. And what was it that was stopping Arjuna? It was his own beloved Guru's son who had given him so much love that there was something between him and Drona that he had no courage to kill Ashwathama. So he just bound him, dragged him all the way to Draupadi. Now when Ashwathama was brought in, all the ladies were there and of the Pandava camp, They were all standing there. Draupadi was crying. Bhima was there. All the Pandavas were standing. And this Ashwathama was dropped in there, who was bound. The moment Draupadi saw this, she says, Mucyatam esha brahmano nitaram guruhu. You cannot bind somebody like Ashwathama like a slave. First release him. And Draupadi, in spite of her pain and misery, seeing that Drona's son, Ashwathama, was standing in front of him who had killed her sons, said to all the Pandavas, you are what you are because of Dronacharya's teaching. And you have no right to kill his son. Though he must have done something so criminal, you don't have a right to kill his son. Krishna was really standing there and appreciating Draupadi's wisdom. चलो फैमिली में एक को तो बुद्धि है. See, when it is required, the women were not just staying in one corner of the kitchen. When it was required, they were the ones who were decision makers. And all Pandavas were standing there with their heads down. But she was still crying. She could not pull herself to appreciate the fact that the Ashwathama was there. She was not satisfied with that. She did not want him to be killed. Her pain was that she had lost her 5 sons, and by doing anything to Ashwathama, her 5 sons would not come back. Why unnecessarily kill this person? Then Bhima comes in. Bhima says, but you have to do something to this fellow. You cannot just let him go like this because he has killed 5 of our sons. Now Krishna, who was watching all this, let Lord Krishna say that. Patience. There are little emotions happening here. Let the emotions boil out, then the Lord comes into picture. So as Bhima was pounding his fist, saying, something must be done to this wretched fellow. And Krishna steps in. He says, Brahma bandhur nahantavya atatayi vadarhanaha mayaivo bhayamapnantam. See, you should not kill this Brahma bandhu. And what can you do? He says, he is an Atatayi. Atatayi who has killed somebody who is weaponless, who was sleeping, and who had no clue that he had come with an intention to kill them. If you can announce, hey, wake up, I have come to kill you, then you have a right to fight them out and kill them. But without even having announced, without knowing, he is called an Atatayi. Though he is an Atatayi, the best thing that you can do is, as Ashwathama was one of the immortals, Krishna says, let him go alive. The wrong that he had done, the paschatapa of the wrong that he had done, because he has to keep alive for that long, will keep bothering him, that itself will be a punishment to him. 1. Second, shave his head off and throw him out of this Rajya, empire. Then Arjuna says, there is this money that was there as he was born. Ashwathama had a money, a jewel kind of a thing that was permanently there. Because of his Brahma Varchas, he says, cut that off. So he was shaven, taken that money off, and he was driven out of the country. So this whole episode, high drama, ended with Ashwathama being sent out. Now as Ashwathama is sent out, the Lord says, now my work is here done. This is where we get into the 8th chapter. The Lord says, whatever I have come for, I have lived here for quite some time. I have another place to go now, Dwarka. People there have been waiting eagerly. When will this Mahabharata war be done? When will you be established? And when will I get back there? So I think it is time for me to leave. Atha te samparetanam swanam udakam michhatam datum sa Krishna gangayam puraskritaya yustriyaha. When he was trying to leave, everybody standing there were trying to give something or the other as a gift. The actual reason was, see, if you are supposed to bring a gift, after you see the person, do you go to the shop and then bring and give? No. They were making it an excuse so that they could make Lord stay for that long. Wait, I am coming with a gift. Don't leave otherwise. The poor fellow, he was waiting for everybody to give him gifts. And he was talking to all these people who were standing. They were Gandhari, Dhritarashtra, then there was Kunti, all the Pandavas. Everybody was there. And as he gantum kritam itir brahman dwarakam rathama sthitaha, he got onto the ratha. As he got onto the ratha, Uttara, the widow of Abhimanyu, came in running. She said, there is this something which is chasing me, the heat of which I am not able to withstand. Pahi pahi mahayogin deva deva jagatpate nanyam tvadabhayam pashye yatra mrityuh parasparam. I find imminent death because of this something, a steel that is chasing me, which is the heat of which is unbearable. And as she came in running, even the Pandavas felt that there was an arrow specified for them which was approaching. This Ashwathama, who had tried to take a revenge on the Pandavas, now was insulted by the Pandavas and kicked out of the Rajya. Finally had to take a revenge on them. He said, let there be no Pandavas and let there be no continuation of progeny of Pandavas. How mean a person's mind works when they are so carried away by their ego. He wanted to kill the womb of Uttara. That was the only surviving or would have survived child. He did not want the progeny of Pandavas to continue. He forgot the mistake that he had done. He forgot the unrighteous steps that he had done. The only thing that he was consumed by the insult that was done to him. That he had sent how many? 6 Brahmastras now. Not 1, not 2, 6 Brahmastras. 1 each for 5 Pandavas and 1 for not Uttara, Uttara's Garbha, womb of Uttara. Upadharya vachastasya bhagavan bhaktavatsalah apandavamidam kartum drauner astram abudhyata. He understood the very sight of the astra that this is from Ashwathama. And it was purposefully aimed at Uttara's womb so that apandavamidam kartum, so that the Pandavas would not be left with any progeny. And that was the very meaningful act of Ashwathama. As soon as the Lord perceived it, what did he do? Brahma tejo vinirmuktaihi atmajai saha krishnaya. With his yogic powers, he just covered all the Pandavas and Uttara and her Garbha. He protected it with his Sudarshana Chakra. See, the Pandavas he protected with his Sudarshana Chakra. The Uttara's Garbha he protected it with his Gada. And as this whole another episode of Brahmastras, within a day, how many Brahmastras? 6 plus 2, 8 Brahmastras. We can see even today, like, they are in wrong hands, it can create such a destructive force rather than a protective force. So Ashwatthama misused it. 8 times, imagine. 7 times. And the Lord subdued all these Brahmastras because in front of Lord's glory, though Brahmastra is something which has no remedy, there is no other astra which can counteract with Brahmastra, but the Lord's yogic powers, he withdrew all these Brahmastras. Then Kunti comes in. This is the most beautiful part. Kunti comes in and says, Namasye Purusham Tvadyam Ishwaram Prakrite Param. O Lord, you are the Ishvara, Parameshwara. And I am something Mudhadrisho na lakshase. I am a Mudadhi. Mudadhi, I am a very simple woman. I don't have that kind of a brilliance of my intellect. But, she says, I know one thing. The moment we think of you, you are there helping us. Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. And this was the prayer that I constantly think of, and whenever I had a necessity, you were there. When all were the situations, she says, when we were poisoned, meaning the Pandavas were poisoned, when the house was burnt, when we were, by mistake of one day, we were being tortured. When they come out of the incognito, Ajnatavasa, they were told that they still had one day to go. That was what was Duryodhana's wicked plan. And all these times, whenever we had Vipatti, O Lord, we had you because the moment we think of you, you were there to help us. She says, my request would be, this was the first lady, never ever after her. Have you ever prayed to the Lord, Lord, give us misery? Lord, give us the most miserable moments in life. No, she was the one who asked. And her clause is very clear. Vipadas santu na shashvat. May we always be surrounded by vipatti. Miserable, tormenting moments. Vipatti. Why? Tatra tatra jagadguru. Whenever we were in that kind of vipatti, bhavato darshanam yasyat. We had you directly in front of us. Now, if that be the result of vipatti, I don't mind having vipattis. Please bless me with vipattis. Along with your darshana with the vipatti. See, dekho, a devotee wants the Lord. When the devotee wants the Lord, it is like the child wanting the mother. The child first gives a hint when he is hungry, looks at the mom, makes some kind of sounds which only the mom understands. The father looks at it and it doesn't understand. It goes through but doesn't get in. what is the child saying? The mom understands. And the mom is busy with something else. What would the child do? Ena kena prakarena. But whatever means or method that it takes for him to get the attention of the mother. Of course, the Brahmastra for the child is there is a Subhashita which says, Stri balanam rodanam balam. For both the children and the women, what is the Brahmastra? What is their strength? Rodanam balam. I used to have a cousin who used to bully around and take away everything, and then when we got really irritated, she would start crying. It was always like we would get scolded. अरे बेचारी को क्यों सताते हो, रो रही हो? She's, don't torture her, don't bully her. She's crying also now. And the best part was, after everybody was gone, everything settled, she would show her tongue. Tell you, tears have an amazing power. They just drop out of the dams called eyes. And it has got such a kinetic energy that anybody who comes in contact with that vision, with that visual effect, feels that kinetic energy. So the child makes one way or the other to seek the attention. He says, if Vipatti is the method, Lord, to have your darshan, I don't mind having Vipatti. Let my whole life be with miserable moments. So that, hey Jagat Guru, you are there guiding me through, holding my hand. Now hearing this beautiful aspect, beautiful perspective, and what does she call herself? I am not of a bright intellect. Moodadi. I am a woman who has always been taking care of children and other things, but I know only this. That whenever we had Vipatti, you were there. Give us more Vipatti. Hearing this beautiful conversation of Kunti Devi, the Lord said, Pruthayetham kalpadaihi parinuta khilodayaha mandajahasa vaikuntaha mohayanniva mayaya tam bhadam iti upamantya pravishya jagahasvahya. As he was all planning to leave, and this is when all this happened, and he heard Kunti ji saying it, he says, Badhamiti tathastu, maybe it's so. Now, how cruel is this Lord? If your child asks for something which is dangerous, would you give it to your child? The child wants that shiny new knife, comes running, crawling for that. Badam. But he chahiye na? Le. Please. Would you give it? Now when Lord says Badam here, it does not mean that you will have Vipatti. He said, if in case you have any Vipatti, I will be there, don't worry. Do not misunderstand Lord's Badam. Badam means tathastu. He says, whenever, if in case you are in Vipatti, I will be there. Meaning what? One thing that we as human beings have to understand. With the presence of the Lord around Pandavas, were the experiences that were bound to them according to their prarabdha changed? Every single miserable moment of theirs, right since their birth, till this moment, nothing was changed. When we sit in front of the Lord and cry for His help, what we are asking for is a wrong thing wherein we ask, I don't want this. You don't have a choice of not wanting it. Then why do you have to pray? It is not just a blessing for Kunti, it is a blessing for all of us. He says you pray because by praying you get that courage and willpower. Just by the Namocharan of the Lord, you get that willpower to face the situation better. Tell me, were you poisoned any time? Was your house burnt by your enemies? Were you kicked out for 12 years and 1 year of Ajnata? And still, these Pandavas, along with Kunti Devi and Draupadi, their faith in the Lord did not move an inch outside. For us, we say, I have faith in Lord. Something happens. God is not there. Alright? Is that what faith you have? The small little things happen. And the first thing that gets targeted is God. God should be a sadist. Why? Because He gives us so much of misery regularly. This is what Kunti says. Lord, and there are some people who even conclude, there have been people who have asked questions, they say, I probably think that Pandavas had so much of misery only because Lord was around them. Rama, Rama. Such an erroneous conclusion. It is something like the scientist who proclaimed himself to be a scientist. He pulled a leg of the cockroach and he said, jump. It jumped. I think cockroach has 6 legs? 8 legs. So one after the other he pulled out. And the 7th leg was also put down and said, jump. It jumped. He pulled out the last leg and said, jump. It did not jump. So what was the conclusion? When you pull all 8 legs of the roach, it turns deaf. What a wrong conclusion. It is not because Pandavas had a Lord around that they were into so much of misery. Whatever was charted for them as their experience, the moment they thought of Lord, the Lord was in their spirit to see through their hard times. And seeing that perspective of Kunti Devi, Lord smiles and says, Badam tathastu. And then Lord says, Chalo, ab mujhe jana hai. I should leave now. Yudhishthira comes and falls into his feet. Don't, please. Why? I have this guilt that all these kinds of plunders that have happened, I have had an active role, I have been the key factor in having so much of the killings that have happened due to Mahabharata war. In fact, I call that as my first world war. Imagine 18 Akshohinis of people, 18 times 250,000. How many? 4.5 million. 4.5 million people, only few were left. In 18 days, look at the impact. In 18 days, 5 generations were wiped out. And definitely, if you have been seeing that kind of blood and gory things around, what has happened to Yudhishthira would have happened to us also. Because he was quite a responsible person. He was not feeling good living in a palace after so much of destruction. Added on to that was Lord leaving aggravated the situation. He said, don't leave. Iti bhitah prajadrohat sarvadharma vivatsaya. I have done prajadroha. And the Lord says, Bhaiya, for you the best teacher is Bhishma. Let me take you to Bhishma. And where is Bhishma ji? He is in the Kurukshetra, lying down on the bed of arrows. For Bhishma ji, it is like a bonus. Now don't consider that, poor fellow, he was already tortured with so many arrows in his body. Why did Lord have to take, could he not have answered Yudhishthira? Lord has his own way of working. Please stop second guessing Lord's actions. He has his purpose, he has his methods of doing. Stop second guessing it. Bhishma, who was a great devotee of the Lord, was waiting for his last moment so that the sun would turn northward. And that time had come. As a parting advice, this is when in Mahabharata we find amazing jewel of knowledge called Vishnu Sahasranama delivered by Bhishmacharya. And now when in Mahabharata there is this beautiful description. Lord says, takes these Pandavas to them. Bhishma says, I will not tell. You have come, right? And it is my choice whether I have to tell or not. I will not tell. So Krishna steps forward and says, what will it take so that you can tell? You stand near my feet. I tell you, if you have that devotion in heart, you can do anything with the Lord. And believe me, Lord plays to your tunes. There's a beautiful point here. He says that Lord is the one, yantra rudhani mayaya. He moves this world as though it was puppets. And he becomes a puppet in the hands of the devotee. And look at Bhishma, he says, lying down there, he says, you stand near my feet. That is when I'll tell. Now what was the intention of Bhishmacharya there? See, he was all pierced through arrows. So much that he could not even move his head. And he says, Lord, if I have to give them a message, I want to do that seeing you. And the only way that I can see you is when you can stand at my feet. He says, please will you? The Lord smilingly goes there and stands. And then all different kinds of Mahatmas, Narada, Dhaumya, Vyasa, Bharadvaja, along with his Sishyas, Renuketu and everybody, they are all assembled to hear the sacred last words of Bhishmacharya. And Bhishmacharya also gave, quite a big exposition on different aspects of life, about the Varna Ashrama Dharma, about the Kshatriya Dharma, and then answering the main question of Yudhishthira. Now, what was the main question of Yudhishthira? Yudhishthira uvacha kimekam daivatam loke kim vapyekam parayanam stuvantah kam kamarchantah prapnuyurmanava shubham ko dharma sarva dharmanam bhavatah paramo matah kim japan muchyate jantur janma samsara bandhanat. 7 questions were asked. He answered those 7 questions through Vishnu Sahasranama. Added with that, he gave all these extra details because he had seen through 5 generations and quite experienced. All that when he had explained, satisfying the inquisitiveness of Yudhishthira. As soon as the sun moved into the northern horizon. He said, I am done. I was eagerly waiting for this moment. I am done with all this. And then he withdrew himself one by one, completely focusing his eyes onto the Lord, mind onto the Lord, praying intensely to the Lord. Here Sutaji says, Bhishmaha panchatvam vilinaha. He doesn't say, normally when you hear the other heroes dying in Mahabharata, or they call it panchatvam gataha. Panchatvam gataha meaning they are dead. The 5 elements were left back. The spirit moved forward. But here he says that panchatvam vilinaha. Willfully he merged all his 5 elements into those respective nascent forms and merged into the Lord who was standing in front of him. Having given a beautiful message to Yudhishthira, now Yudhishthira was also feeling, Tato Yudhishthiro gatva sahashno gajahvayam Pitaram santvayamasa gandharim cha tapasvinim. He treated them as parents, Gandhari and Yudhishthira. He informed about Bhishma. And also, he was feeling more light at heart, having gotten the message. He was now guilt-free. A trip to Bhishma made him guilt-free. Came back more happy. And now starts the actual departure of Krishna. The poor Krishna. 3-4 times he made an attempt to leave, and every single time there was something or the other happening. And let's see if it is this very time that he is going to leave. After Krishna had seen that everything was well settled, made a day. Sumuhurta to leave for Dwarka. Now, as Lord had made his arrangement to leave for his own kingdom, this time it was not like a momentary thing saying, Lord, I'll leave and everybody will stop. Everybody were mentally prepared. Yudhishthira, as Lord Krishna was moving towards the chariot, took the flower petals and was offering it at his feet as he was moving forward. Arjuna was holding the white umbrella, silken umbrella embedded with pearls and lot of jewels. He was holding it, standing behind the Lord. Nakula Sahadeva were using those chamara. There is this deer whose fur or the tail is used, the hair on the tail is used as the fan. So they were using that chamara. And Bhima was doing the crowd management. All that he had to do was stay ahead of them and then stretch his hand and keep walking. Everybody will move out. So he was doing a crowd management towards the chariot. So everybody took the Lord to the chariot. Though inside their heart, they were missing a beat. The Lord who was the very life of theirs. Here he describes it as Ishvaraha Golakan. Like, what will happen to your Indriyas after the Lord from here has left? Meaning dead. They were feeling that in themselves. And the ladies were almost about to faint with the thought that the Lord is leaving. Their eyes were swelling up with tears but would not drop a tear. Why? It was supposed to be a bad omen. If when somebody is leaving, you carry tears. Just for that fact, they kept their eyes from dropping a single drop of tear. And Lord got onto the chariot. As he got onto the chariot, Mridanga Shankabheryascha Veena Panava Gomukhaha. There were people playing on Mridanga, Shankha, then Veena. Then there is this, cow horns are taken and are used to blow. They are called Gomukhaha. And there are all different kinds of instruments they were playing. Along with Krishna, Satyaki and Uddhava also left for Dwaraka. And as they were leaving, each one of them who was standing there felt as though suddenly their very life was sucked out of them. I tell you, when the Lord himself is there, when this happens even with the mortal people, you stand near the airports, the parents come to drop off the kids while they are going to their college. I see that the parents, especially the mother, has a tear or two. The kid is having a big smile on the face. Chalo, choti. The moment they step through that security zone, azadi. Freedom. When our own beloved ones, mortal, when they leave, we feel that pain. I don't think we can even imagine what would have happened to these Pandavas and the people there in Hastinapura, what they went through to see the Lord leave for Dwaraka. Now at one side they were feeling bad that Lord had left. Imagine what was happening when Lord was arriving in Dwaraka. So as the Lord was arriving near Dwaraka, Anartan sa upavraja, there was a small town called Anavrata. As he entered to that city, he took out his Panchajanya. Panchajanya was basically a conch, smaller in shape. It would just fit in his hand, in his fist, and was pinkish in color. Here Vyasaji goes to normally you don't see this kind of a simile given by Vyasaji. You read Megha Sandesha or Komara Sambhavam, Raghuvamsham, Kalidasa goes to the other extreme of every single sentence you find a Upama. That's why there is Upama, Kalidasasya, not Upma. Upama. Upama means simile. Here, for a change, Vyasaji uses that. He says that conch that Lord grabbed, the tender lips of the Lord, pink in color, when they touched the conch became pinkish, blushing as though. Man, Vyasaji also has become very descriptive when it comes to Lord. Because Vyasaji is like a point-to-point kind of a person. This is what it is, take it or leave it kind of a person. And suddenly he comes into description. And then he continues. His hands, which were holding the conch, were like the red lotuses, in whom was resting this conch, looking like a swan, enjoying the nectar of the Lord, touching the sparsha with his lips. When that conch blew, people in Dwaraka became ecstatic. The description given is so beautiful. Every house, every threshold had a Purna Kumbha, rice, yogurt, butter. unbroken rice. You know what you call the chivda? Poha. Chivda is the product. Poha. And all that ready at every threshold. All streets were wiped clean and there was a scented water sprinkled. Scented water sprinkled all throughout Dwaraka. Every street was lit with so much of light and festive fervor. There were flags hanging, there were toran as they call it, with different shapes and sizes, so much that sun was beaming in here and there. Whole Dwaraka took into a festive outlook. All women would come into the terrace to watch the Lord pass in front. All the children were ecstatic, standing there waving the flags to the Lord. And in Krishna's palace, the moment they heard the conch sound, there were some who were in the bed, there were some who were playing, there were some who were in the swimming pool, there were some who were eating. Why this kind of a variety? 16,000 wives, and imagine that one number of children. Each one of them was in a different mood. Everybody dropped anything that they were doing, quickly dressed themselves up because the Lord was coming back. It seems as the Lord passed in to his palace, Antarbhavana, the women, his wives, would pass on the children, the young kids that they were carrying in their shoulders. They would pass on to the Lord just in pretext of touching the Lord, holding on to the Lord. They had not seen him for such a long time. So some of them would meet the Lord with the eyes, some of them would meet the Lord with their thoughts. They were all so completely focused with the Lord. And he says, who would not be eager to worship that feet of Lord, which Lakshmi ji never ever forsakes. Lakshmi ji is constantly serving those holy feet of Narayana. That kind of feet, when they are entering into your threshold, would you miss an opportunity to be there? Everybody was decked up. And they were so ready that the Lord, one of the sons of the Lord, Samba, the son of Jambavati, it seems he was just in the bed. And he gets up and he freshens up and gets ready. He says, when the Lord touches me, I should not be impure. They are all so focused and so happy that the Lord is back in Dwaraka. Now that was the royal reception of the Lord into Dwaraka. Now, the chapters concluded so far is Vedavyasji inspired to write Bhagavata. Narada inspiring him with his own personal story. Vedavyasji, after having written it, gives this knowledge to Shukaji. After the Mahabharata war, one after the other, there were certain incidents. What was the first incident? That Ashwathama had come in. Ashwathama comes in and kills the 5 sons. Then Arjuna brings Ashwathama. He is punished by taking out the money and by shaving his head. Rama Rama. That which has not happened, So he is kicked out of the country. Then he is sent another 6 Brahmastras so that he could wipe out the complete Pandava Kula. Lord again protects. Lord takes Yudhishthira to Bhishma. And then Lord leaves for Dwaraka. What happened to Uttara, who was carrying Parikshita? Uttara says that Parikshita will be born tomorrow. I just got a wireless call. She says he'll be born tomorrow. So Parikshit's birth we'll see tomorrow. It will be the 12th chapter. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.